Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Nahmadu wa nasalli ala Rasulihil Kareem. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Today is Friday. It's a blessed day and the Sardar of all the days. So we on that day, before we go to masjid, this is Sunnah, this is mustahab, that we take shower, we clean ourselves, put nice clothes, put some perfume, and then go to masjid. MashaAllah. And also those who haven't recited Surah Al-Kahf, so recite Surah Al-Kahf on Friday so that we may be saved from the fitna Dajjal. So today in our series of Fiqh of Purification, we will be talking about ruling for our daily life, ruling of impurities. And now when we say ruling of impurity, we use a term in Islam called Najasah. Najasah means impurity, not clean. This term is used to refer when certain thing or certain person is unclean in religious sense. It does not mean it's unclean in a worldly sense, but in a religious sense. So Najasah, and I'll be using that as I've just said, Najasah means unclean, just keep in mind. So I'll be using Najasah and Najas again and again throughout this vlog. So Najasah has two categories. One is Najasah Hukmiya and one is Najasah Hakika. So Najasah Hukmiya refers to the state of impurity without any physical presence. We do not see any signs of impurity. Like, for example, wudu. My wudu is gone. Maybe I was sleeping, that's why wudu is gone. Or maybe I farted, or I went to bathroom, so the wudu is gone. So now when the wudu is gone, nobody could see. You go in a masjid, there are 100 people sitting over there. Can you look at their faces and tell them they have wudu or not? No, we can't. So without any physical presence, so we say this is Najasah Hakikiya. Okay, and then Najasah Hukmiya, sorry. So then comes Najasah Hakika. The real Najasah. Hakika came out from the word Hakiki, means the real. This is actual tangible impurity that can be seen, that can be touched, such as blood, urine, feces, or alcohol. So these are the Najasah Hakika. So this Najasah is removed by water or pure liquid that achieves the same effect. Now I say a pure liquid when we go for the dry cleaning. Some people, they use some chemicals to remove that the dirt or the some kind of what we call spot on my clothes, so that also cleans my clothes. So now there are two type of Najasa, like this Najasa Hukmiya and Najasa Hakikiya. So now Najasa Hakikiya is broken down into further two parts. One is Ghalida, heavy impurity, and one is Khafifa, means small. Khafif as word came out from small, Khafifa, or light impurity. So Najasa Hakikiya is broken down into two pieces, two parts. Ghalida, heavy impurity, and Khafifa, light impurity. So Ghalida refers to impurity such as feces, urine, and blood. It is impure and it is mandatory that it must be removed. Suppose if I'm wearing clothes and if I see any sign of Najasa on my clothes or on my body bigger than 5 centimeters, bigger than the dirham, or bigger than the 5 grams in solid diameters on the surface or the area, then I should remove. If it is less than 5 centimeters, if it's a small spot, then my prayers will be acceptable, permissible, wearing those clothes. So now there are several things which comes in Najasa Ghalida. The very first thing is urine. If I see any spot of urine or feces, mani, like semen, and madhi, wadi, pus, vomit when it's filled the mouth, postnatal bleeding, menstruation blood, urine of baby, wine, and animal carcasses and their skin. So these are part of Najas Ghalida. And these terms which I just mentioned, like Madi, money, Wadi, pus, and all, we have already talked in my previous vlog in Ghusl. So human urine and human blood, or any blood, and vomit that necessitates wudu, all must be washed if they get on body or my clothing. If it's bigger than 5 centimeters, it's better, we must wash them. And suppose if I see any signs of money on my clothes, like slept and I got some wet dream, when I wake up, I take bath, I take ghusl, but when I was wearing my pajama or my shirt or lungi which I wore last night when I was sleeping, and I see any wet sign of money, I should wash it. But if I see it's dry, I can scratch it. If it is wet, it must be washed. But suppose I saw my pajama has a wet sign of money or some, like feces. So now I'm going, by the time I come back and it's dried, so it does not mean that I must wash. If I could scratch it off, that's fine. If a dog drinks from a container, it must be washed 3 times, though ideally it is 7 times for optimal purification. Some people, they said, okay, yeah, so the dog, we are washing it, that's fine. Now I'm going to explain one more thing about related dog. And if dog, can I touch dog? Will I get impure if I touch dog? No, I won't get impure if I touch dog. If dog has wet fur, if I touch the saliva of dog, if I touch the nose of dog, or the dog touches with his nose or with his mouth with the saliva, then my clothes will get impure. If it touches my body, it will get impure. I have to wash it, that piece of body, that area of body. It does not mean the whole body must be washed. So now they said, well, if this is the thing, I'm not touching the dog. Dog is on a leash. So can I have dog at my home? No. There, inshallah, we will cover. And in the past, I did talk about the dog, having dog in house. So right now, because of security cameras and all these things, because we used to have dogs for safety. It's still some people on the countryside where they do not have cameras and all that, and the dogs, they keep dog, but it should be outside of the compound. But dog should not be allowed inside the house. There are so many hadiths of Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. The angel Jibreel alayhi salatu wasalam, he would not enter the hujra, because there was a puppy sitting under the cot of Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So we should not have dogs. But anyway, keep this topic separate. Inshallah, we'll discuss some other time. But we do not know where dog is touching. Dog could be touching my musalla. Dog could be touching with his saliva and nose. So they will get impure. So if I find any stains of impurity on my clothes, though the clothes are washed, my clothes, there was a blood, I got injury, and then I was wearing white clothes, and there was a blood stains all over my shirt bigger than 5 centimeters, and then I washed it, but still I see those signs. Whether it will be clean? Yes, it will be clean. You washed it, whether you wash with detergent, with soap, or without that, but you washed it 3 times, so now they are pure. The same applies to urine. So human urine, suppose if we see that one on clothes, you washed it, but don't worry about it. Once you washed, that's fine. Washing machines are also sufficient for washing, because right now we are blessed in North America. We have washing machines. We can put cycle to 3, and it cycles 3 times, and it's washed clean. Even you put detergent or not, but they wash it. And same applies to dry cleaning. And now I'm praying on a ground. So if my ground is not pure, can I pray? No. My place of prayer on the ground or on a musalla, if it's not pure, my prayers will not be accepted, it must be clean. So if there is impurity on the ground, it can be purified by pouring only some water. So suppose if some children, they urine, and now you want to purify that ground. So you just pour a bucket of water or some water, and that will be gone. We have a hadith of Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam narrated by Anas ibn Malik radhiyallahu anhu, that one Baddu, he came to Masjid al-Nabawi and he started urinating. And then it's a long hadith that the people rushed towards that person, that Baddu, to stop him. Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam stopped him. This is a beautiful hadith, and he said, no, don't let him relieved. And then when he is relieved, then Prophet ﷺ called him and he says, listen, masajid are the house of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, they are for worship, and you should not urine in the masjid. And he was so pleased, and he made dua to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Allah forgive me and only Prophet ﷺ. I'm just paraphrasing the word like this. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala forgive me if I missed the actual wording. So after that, Prophet ﷺ asked Sahaba to bring a bucket of water and just pour it over that one. So this hadith also gives us lessons that when we see something, if somebody is doing like this type of act, do not stop him immediately. Like urinating, do not say, hey, don't do it, because if he stops, maybe this will cause some medical problem. But once he is done, just use some hikmah with love and affection. Tell him, listen, brother or sister, these things are not allowed in Islam. Or if you do it like this way, that's a better way. It's not only urine matter, but any matter. So that's the thing. So if there is a urine on the ground, you just pour a bucket of water, that's gone. If impurity on earth dries in the sun and all traces of it disappears, then it is permitted to do salah on the spot. But if we know there was impurity, though it is dried and the traces are gone, tayammum is not permitted on it. I'm talking about Fiqh Hanafi. So all these vlogs are according to Fiqh Hanafi. So we should not, do tayammum on that ground. We can go to some other place and do tayammum if we have to do it. If impurity is solid, the ground will only become pure by its removal or the impurity rotting away. It's not a liquid, it's a solid. If you just scrape it off, it just flies away. Then you need not to wash it. So now we are in North America. We have carpets, we have musallas. If my carpet becomes impure by any means, the blood is there, vomiting mouthful of there, urine is there, or baby urine is there, what should we do? Should we take the entire carpet and wash it and give it to dry cleaner or whatever? So no, only we would wash that specific area where there was urine or like impurity is there. We are not going to wash entire carpet, that just remove the entire carpet. No, just take that area, wash it, clean it with the wipe as much as possible 3 times, and then it would be fine. Now we have in our houses, we have different appliances, we have different furniture, we have different things which have plain surface like mirror, glass, knives, painted parts, and other smooth surface which do not have any pores. How can we clean them? We can wash them if impurity is wet on it. If impurity is dried, we can just scratch it. That's it. If we cannot remove my painting or my glass or mirror or something, there was some impurity, something could be any impurity, I scratch it or use the wet cloth and wipe it 3 times, and it would be fine. If it's dried, just scrap it. And Najasah khafifa, it is a lesser impurity, but there are different texts like the urine of those animals whose meat is permissible. Yes, right now we were talking about the human urine or baby urine. But what about those people, those who are working in fields, those who are working with animals whose meat we consume, like goat, lamb, cow, camel, chicken. Now there are people, they are working over there. So it means they have to come and pray, and they have to change their clothes all the time whenever they are coming. So if the najasa is smaller, less than I've said 5 centimeter or something, whatever. So, or if it's not too much. It means there are one najasa is here on his clothes, but it's not, his whole clothes are not dripping with that najasa, with the urine of the animal. So that is permissible, that he could come. If there is a lesser impurity over there, so he can come and pray with these clothes. The urine of a sheep or cow on someone's clothing, it is permitted to do salat in that clothing as long as more than a quarter of the clothing is affected. No more than a quarter. So he is fine. So Islam is not a hard religion that, okay, you must wash these clothes. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bless those people. They are working in the field, and, like with animals, and they're working for us. They're working hard so that we have, halal meat and all that. And Islam is a religion of purity. It's a very clean religion. Half of the Eman is cleanliness. So we have to keep ourselves clean. Today, as I mentioned earlier, it's a Friday. We should, purify ourselves physically and spiritually. Physically, we should, suppose if we have anything bad, we should remove it, like on our body and all these things. And religiously, my inner impurity, I should also make a istighfar to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala purify me. So I make dua to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accept our ibadat. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us tawfiq to stay clean 24/7. Stay in the state of wudu 24/7, inshallah. Jazakallah khair. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.